A lot of the things I say, I'll also be honest, a lot of things I say, I really don't think were bannable offenses. I just think I said things that got so popular. I don't think it's the things I said. I think it's how many times they were listened to. And that long list of things I said, there's one more there I'd actually like to really disparage because it's the one that annoys me the most, where it says, I say that women should bear some responsibility for being raped. I'd like to take this time and explain what I was saying in long format video, which has been completely misconstrued. I was talking about a girl. I was having an argument with a feminist, and she was saying that we need to teach men not to rape. And I said, my dear, I love how idealistic you are, but I am realistic. Men are already taught not to rape. She's like, no, we need to go and change language at school and rewrite history and do all the shit they're trying to do to make men weak because they think that weak men don't rape, which is another argument I want to come back to because weak men are the most dangerous men on the planet. Let's talk about that later. But I said, no, people already understand that rape is wrong. Unfortunately, human nature, some people don't care about doing wrong things. We should teach people not to steal, but they still steal. Would you agree that everyone says don't steal? The Bible says don't steal. The Quran says don't steal. Schools say don't steal. Everyone says don't steal. People still steal. So if I were to take $1 million in cash and walk down the street at night in the worst part of town holding it, to a degree, I would have some responsibility. When I got robbed, the police would come and say, why did you do that? People would say, Andrew, why did you do that? You have to protect yourself from things. You can't just rely on the ideological hope that other people in the world are going to be perfect and infallible, or that the law is going to prevent it. You have to say, no, I can't walk through the ghetto at 2 a.m. with $1 million in cash. I take personal responsibility. She agreed. I said, then by extension, would you agree that the smartest thing a woman can do to prevent rape is not to sit here on a podcast and try and change the way men think and talk about your bullshit, but to take some degree of personal responsibility and not put herself in dangerous situations? I'm not saying that's going to prevent all rape. I'm not saying that rape is okay. Rapists should be executed. I'm not saying that every single woman who was ever assaulted could have prevented it. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying the smartest thing a woman can do is say, this is dangerous. Going home with this guy I just met is dangerous. Walking through this area by myself is dangerous. Let me call a taxi. Let me call my brother. Let me go with my husband. Isn't that a more intelligent way to teach women to prevent themselves from being raped, as opposed to telling them you can do whatever you want, walk around in the middle of the night naked, it's no problem. Men shouldn't rape, men are the problem. I said, what you're trying to do is illogical. What I'm trying to say will actually prevent rape. So what you're saying, when you're telling girls, do whatever you want, men are the problem, you're convincing women to put themselves in situations where bad things might happen to them. Whereas I'm saying, listen, women and men, look after yourselves. I'm a full-grown man, 4-time kickboxing world champion. There's places I don't go alone. Like I came here with security. That's called being an intelligent adult. So this is what I was trying to say. I was trying to say women need to protect themselves and bear some responsibility to make sure they don't put themselves in situations where bad things can happen to them easily. I'd like to think that's a pretty logical point. No. Andrew said rape's fine. Andrew said it's women's fault. I didn't say that. I really didn't say that. It's completely insane. If I speak to my brother's daughter, or when I have daughters of my own, and they say, I'm concerned, how do I protect myself? I'm not going to say, don't worry, here's how we're going to protect you. I'm going to rewrite the mentality of every man on the planet so you can walk around naked at night. I'm going to say, listen, you don't go out at night. I'll come pick you up. Who are you going with? That's just intelligent adult think. But they've taken it, misconstrued it, taken it completely out of context, put it on TikToks, purported it, Media Machine picked it up, lied about me, deleted me so I can't defend myself, and now I'm dangerous to the world. It's a fucking scam. It's all a scam. And it's actually quite interesting because the people who are close to me have said to me in real time, Andrew, you've impressed us. I said, how? He goes, the hit piece they've done on you is unprecedented in the world. And you seem unfazed. It's like, it's not a matter of being unfazed. It's slightly annoying. It's a matter of just analyzing, what I can actually do about it. But I think most people who had been through the shit I've been through right now would be genuinely upset and affected by it. I don't give a fuck, right? Because I've set my life up in a way that I know I'm okay. But not many people can handle the entire world saying you're a fucking rape apologist and we're going to delete him from the entire world. He's dangerous to women. Not many people are going to want that to happen to them. So what they've done is genuinely criminal because this is bullshit. I was sticking up for women against feminists saying, don't tell women to go out at night. They're going to get hurt. It's absolutely insane. And like you correctly identified earlier, if someone were to hurt a female member of my family, it'd be the biggest mistake they ever fucking made. I don't care about, I'm the worst enemy a man who hurts a woman could be. The other point I made earlier, I don't want to talk too much, but we talk about weak men. This is what's scariest about this entire agenda they're trying to purport, because their ideas, like the feminist idea and like the mainstream idea and like Logan Paul's ideas, all their ideals is if we weaken men, then if they become weak enough, they'll no longer be a threat. And I argue that point absolutely. I think the most dangerous men on earth are the weak men. I think inside of every single man We're born with a fire inside of us that if we do not control can destroy ourselves and other people. And if you look at men who have no emotional control, because that's what they're trying to teach us to have. They're saying, listen, you're a man, you're allowed to just cry all the time and have no emotional control, no stoicism, just react to your emotions. Do you know what happens when you tell men to just react to their emotions? Anger. You have school shootings, you have rape, you have violence. That's what happens when you tell men to have no emotional control. These school shooters are kids with no emotional control. Rapists are men with no emotional control. Violence and the bullshit you see on the street are men with no emotional control. Telling men to not be stoic is going to create a breed of violent young men who have no emotional control, can't control their emotions, and act out on them. That is absolutely and utterly more dangerous to society than me coming along saying, listen, I don't give a fuck how you feel, young man. It doesn't matter how you feel. You have duties and you have responsibilities as an adult, and you must comply and act a certain way regardless of how you feel. That is better for society as a whole, especially as I'm only teaching the tenets of, listen, go to the gym anyway. Doesn't matter. You don't feel like it. Go anyway. Listen, your girlfriend left you. Your heart's broken. You're not allowed to stalk her. She doesn't want you. Get the fuck over it. What I'm saying is good for the world. They're saying, no, act out your emotions. Cool, you're creating stalkers, rapists, and school shooters. These people are fucking dangerous.
Well, we're constantly having this conversation about being logical versus being emotional. How many times does this theme come up on our podcast? Yeah. Constantly. And quite candidly, Andrew, I was more emotional before I started hanging out with PBD 3 years ago. But this is something you need to work on. It sounds like you've been working on something like this for decades, right? But when you hear logic versus emotion, how are you processing that?
Yeah, you know what he makes me think about is, and I got a question going back to Logan versus yourself on the outcome, on what were you solving for, where he was wiser. But what he made me think about is the following. This is the question I think society has to ask themselves. The government has to ask themselves, families have to ask themselves, women have to ask themselves, men have to ask themselves. Andrew Schultz, who is a ridiculously talented guy. Yeah. He's a comedian, right?
Yeah, I know.
Fantastic comedian, right?
Great name, by the
way. Yeah. So he says, he was saying that, I don't know where I saw this video. I think it was on a TikTok video or Instagram video, where he said, in China, they allow videos to go viral that's about education. In America, they allow videos to go viral on TikTok of people acting a fool or dancing or doing silly stuff because this is their way of getting Americans to be distracted to do silly stuff because that's how they're getting rewarded.
China, ByteDance,
now,
they own TikTok.
Let's say that's true. Let's say his ideas, he doesn't know for a fact that's true. Let's say for a fact that it's true. Let's play that. Well, then we have to ask a question. Here's a question. What content goes viral? Okay, let's go through it. Does porn go viral? Boys watch a porn video, they say, bro, you got to see this. Does porn get a lot of eyeballs?
Porn gets eyeballs, not viral.
But wait a minute, it gets a lot of eyeballs.
Yes.
All right, what else goes viral nowadays? What else gets a lot of eyeballs nowadays? So
stupid dances,
stupid pranks. What else?
Anything nonsensical.
So you have to answer the question, why is all of this content about depensifying men going viral on platforms that don't defend this argument? Meaning, Instagram doesn't defend what he stands for. Okay. TikTok doesn't support what he talks about. Okay. YouTube doesn't defend and stand what he stands for. The core foundation of those companies is very different than the core foundation of what he has towards women because they're more feminist. They're more men are, making men weaker, all that stuff. But if these things are getting this many eyeballs, maybe what it's saying is the market is sitting around saying, dude, we've been waiting for this for a while, man.